You know that feeling? It's 3 a.m. You're lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling. And inside you, a silent but brutal war is raging. One voice, quiet but persistent, whispers, "You are capable of so much more. Get up, create, build, change your life." But then a second voice, soft, thick, and sticky like molasses, answers, "Not now. You're tired. Let's do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, everything will change." If this dialogue plays in your head more often than you'd like to admit, stop. Put down everything you're doing. The story I'm about to tell you isn't just a fable. It is a mirror. And perhaps today is the day you finally see your reflection clearly. This isn't a story about a superhero who got lucky. It's about an ordinary human who found the strength to murder his tomorrow to save his today. Once, there lived a farmer named Moan. His village was just a tiny dot on the map, but his fantasies were vaster than the ocean. Since childhood, he would gaze at his neighbors' golden fields, at their rich harvests, and with burning eyes declare, "Just you wait. One day, my field will outshine them all. People will come from miles around for my advice, and I will walk with my head held high, proud and free." People loved listening to Moan. He had a gift. He spoke so sweetly that it felt as if the harvest was already gathered. But there was one problem. His words grew like bamboo, a meter a day, while his actions didn't move an inch. Every morning, the sun would flood the rooftops and the world would wake up. Neighbors grabbed their shovels, let out their cattle. Work was in full swing. But Moan would pull the blanket over his head. He would wake up around noon, step out onto his porch, and spend the rest of the day discussing grand plans while sitting in the shade. "Today, I am analyzing," he would say importantly. "But tomorrow, tomorrow is when I take action. But tomorrow is the world's most cunning con artist." Tomorrow turned into a week into a rainy season, a season into years. His field remained bare and gray, yet his dreams bloomed wildly, like weeds after a storm. One day, old Uncle Kai approached his fence. He was an elder whose face resembled a topographical map of all the rough roads he had traveled, and his hands were as hard as oak roots. Silently, he handed Moan 2 small, black pouches. "Inside these are magic seeds." The old man's voice was quiet but heavy. "In the first pouch is the seed of ambition. In the second is the seed of laziness. They are both alive, and they will both grow. The secret lies in only one thing. Which one will you water?" Moan laughed, grabbed the first pouch, and confidently said, "Of course, ambition. I will grow a forest of success from it." Moan laughed, grabbed the first pouch, and confidently said, "Of course, ambition. I will grow a forest of success from it." The old man smiled sadly and whispered, "Later is the favorite food of the seed of laziness. Be careful not to overfeed it." Days passed, and without even noticing it, Moan became the gardener of his own disaster. He watered laziness every single day, generously. "It's too hot today, my back hurts. I need inspiration, I'm not ready yet." This was water for the weeds. The seed of laziness sprouted instantly. It didn't require care, only excuses. Weeds entangled his field, his house, and his mind. They choked out even the tiny sprouts of ambition that tried to break through to the light. And then came the day when Moan walked out into his field and froze in horror. This wasn't the field of a future winner. It was a graveyard of unfulfilled hopes. Thick, thorny stalks of laziness were strangling a small, yellowing sprout of his dream. He fell to his knees, touched the dry earth, and for the first time in years, he didn't feel the sweetness of fantasy, but the bitter taste of truth. He realized a terrifying thing. Dreams don't die with a scream. They fall asleep quietly and fade away if you don't wake them up with action. If I don't start now, he whispered, tomorrow will be an exact copy of today, and so it will go until the day I die. At that moment, something inside him clicked like a breaker switch in a dark basement. The pain of realized wasted time became stronger than the fear of work. That night, he couldn't sleep. He thought about every tomorrow that had turned into never. He thought about the field that could have fed families but was only feeding his own pride. When the sun merely touched the horizon, Moan was already in the field. He didn't wait for inspiration. He didn't wait for the right mood. He tore out the weeds with his bare hands. His skin cracked, his muscles screamed from the strain, sweat stung his eyes, but every uprooted root was a victory over his past self. His life changed. He woke up at 5:30 a.m. He watered the seed of ambition, even when the sun was scorching, even when there was no rain. He became a student. He asked neighbors for help. He read, he tried, he failed, he fell face first into the mud, but he got up and kept moving. The weak sprout first grew strong, turned into a stalk, and then into a mighty tree. A year later, the field turned green. 2 years later, it shone so brightly, it was as if the sun had decided to live right there on his land. People began to come, at first, out of curiosity, to laugh at the former lazybones, then to learn, and finally, to say thank you. The harvest was so great that Moan opened his gates and said, take it. There is enough food for everyone. Just remember, don't forget to water your field, not your excuses. But Moan's most important achievement wasn't in the sacks of grain. He became free. Free from the eternal tomorrow. Free from the fear of running out of time. Free from the guilt he felt toward himself. Now, he teaches the village children a simple rule. Don't ask when is the perfect time to start. Ask yourself, what can I do right now before this kettle boils? And now he stands on that same field. Where once there were weeds, a mighty tree now grows. Its branches reach for the sky like hands ready to grab the stars. Underneath it sit young kids full of doubt. They ask, Moan, what if it doesn't work? What if we waste our energy for nothing? He smiles and answers a question with a question. But what if it does work? You will never know if you never try.